All right, so let's start off and let's continue where we were in the Zohar. So welcome everybody. We are here in Los Angeles. It is 1.5 million degrees and we are going to learn the Zohar and we're going to continue in the California sun and we're going to continue in the Zohar. Introduction 10. So welcome to everybody who's just joining. And we're going to find out why most people get the Zohar completely wrong. They think that it's information, but really it's structure. So Zohar Introduction 11. Let's start from the top. In the beginning, Bereshis Rabbi Shimon Psach, Yeshua Nun Aleph Tezayin Ve'eshim Davrei V'Piach Kaima Islay. In the beginning, Rabbi Shimon opens his discourse with the text, and I put my words in your mouth. Isaiah 51:16, he said, "How greatly is it incumbent on a man to study the Torah day and night." Welcome to those who are just joining. Welcome to our white belt members. So how greatly is it incumbent on a man to study the Torah day and night? For the Holy One, blessed be He, is attentive to the voice of those who occupy themselves with the Torah, and through each fresh discovery made by them in the Torah, a new heaven is created. Tnan be'eyu shaisa demila da'asaira. Our teachers have told us that at the moment when a man expounds something new in the Torah, his utterance ascends before the Holy One, blessed be He, and he takes it up and kisses it, and crowns it with 70 crowns of graven and inscribed letters. When a new idea is formulated in the field of the esoteric wisdom, that when a man expounds something new in the Torah, his utterance ascends before the Holy One, blessed be He, and he takes it up and kisses it. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai ascends, continues an introduction to Zohar 11, and crowns it with the 70 crowns of graven and inscribed letters. When a new idea is formulated in the field of the esoteric wisdom, it ascends and rests on the head of the tzaddik, the life of the universe. And then it flies off and traverses 70,000 worlds until it ascends to the Ancient of Days, all the way until it ascends. And in as much as all the words of the Ancient of Days are words of wisdom compromising sublime and hidden mysteries. Okay? You guys are with me so far? That hidden word of wisdom. So the Zohar continues. Thank you. Very good. We got the gifts flowing. I like it. Keep it coming. Vehi mila sasima de chseima de estaita hacha kad salka. That hidden word of wisdom that was discovered here when it ascends is joined to the words of the Ancient of Days and becomes an integrated part of them and enters into the 18 mystical worlds, concerning which we read that no eye has seen besides for you, O God. From there they issue and fly to and fro until finally arriving perfected and completed before the Ancient of Days. At that moment, the Ancient of Days savors that word of wisdom and finds satisfaction therein. Above all else, he takes that word and crowns it with 370 1,000 crowns, and it flies up and down until it is made into a sky. Okay, so we're going to continue. V'chein kol milah. And so each word of wisdom is made into a sky, which presents itself fully formed before the Ancient of Days, who calls them new heavens. That is, heavens created out of the mystic ideas of the sublime wisdom. As for the other new expositions of the Torah, they present themselves before the Holy One, blessed be He, and ascend and become earths of the living. Then they descend and become absorbed into one earth, whereby a new earth emerges through that new discovery in the Torah. This is implied in the verse, for as the new heavens and the new earth which I am making rise up before me. It is not written, I have made, but I am making right now, signifying continuous creation out of the new ideas discovered in the Torah. Further, it is written, and I have placed my words in your mouth. And with the shadow of my hand have I covered thee to plant a heaven and to lay the foundations of an earth. It does not say the heaven, but a heaven. Amar Rebbe Eliezer. Said Rebbe Eliezer, what signifies, with the shadow of my hand have I covered thee? He replied, when the Torah was delivered to Moses, with their fiery breath. So we're learning the Zohar, introduction 11. So the Holy One, blessed be He, sheltered him. Similarly, now when the new word ascends and is crowned and presents itself before the Holy One, blessed be He, He coverts and protects that word, and also shelters the author of that word, so that the angels should not become aware of him, and so be filled with jealousy, until that word is transformed into a new heaven and a new earth. That's the meaning of the passage, that, and with the shadow of my hand have I covered thee, to plant a heaven and to lay the foundation of an earth. So what do we learn? We learn from this that each word, of which the purpose is not immediately obvious, contains a lesson of special value, and it is written, and with the shadow of my hand I covered you. Why is it covered and hidden from our view? From an ulterior purpose, to wit, to plant a heaven and to lay the foundation of an earth, as was already explained. The Lemar Letzion Eniata. So we're going to continue further. And to say about Zion that you are Ami, my people, this means to say that those gates of study and those words of Zion, which means distinction in this case, that through though you are Ami, you are with me, right? A very intimate signaling from God to Zion, to be a collaborator with me, for just as I made heaven and earth by a word, as it says, by the word of the Lord the heavens were made. This is in King David's Psalms 33. So do you, happy are those who devote themselves to the study of the Torah. And this is an extenuated point. You should not think, however, that all this applies even to one who is no true scholar. It does even apply to one who is no true scholar. When one who is a stranger to the mysteries of the Torah, aka an adept, a student with no teacher, a mystical seeker with no teacher, a student who is not yet enrolled into Kabbalah University, for example, makes pseudo-discoveries based on an incomplete understanding. A moment of silence for those unfortunate. And according to the Zohar, he's met by the perverse one, the demon of false tongues, an entity who emerges from the cavern of the great abyss and makes a leap of 500 parsecs. That's a big leap, right? I think a Bigfoot leap to receive that word. He seizes onto a false word. So you have a ill spirit that comes to seize this ill word, okay? So this is a very symbolic and advanced metaphorical concept, but I'll do my best to break it down as simply as possible, okay? So bear with me, guys. It's like you have a good teacher and a bad teacher. So in this system, when a good teacher teaches, the angels, right, they come up and receive the word, the teaching, and they crown it and they bring it before God. And it's a ceremony and a ritual. A bad teacher, the perverse or the wicked one or the devil archetype or whatever you want to call him, the shadow one, comes up with his evil wife and they seize this ill word from the adept or from the confused one or from the mystic seeker without a teacher, the student who hasn't yet enrolled into Kabbalah University, for example, and seizes this perverse word and then creates a false heaven out of it, okay? So that's one level of simplification. If I need to do it, tell me if you guys understand. If not, I'll break it down to a even more simple, perhaps even more broken down level. But so far, we broke it down into this good teacher and bad teacher. So if the good teacher jumps up and seizes, right, it says a good word, then it creates a positive heaven, a positive dimension, and a realm where this positive word is the foundation for a whole heaven. Conversely, the wicked word can create a negative environment and a whole manifest negative world based on a wicked teacher. Unfortunate to those who are led astray by such a teacher. So go and find for yourself. A good teacher is very important according to the sages. All right. Let me take a look at some comments. All right, somebody got it. So the main idea of Zohar Introduction 11, that depending on whether you say good Torah or bad Torah, it will either create a positive heaven or a negative heaven. And then you have these entities, either positive or negative, that spring up and they want to impregnate themselves with this word. They use a language of impregnation, almost like human reproduction, but nothing close, because there's not the same dynamics. It's only spiritual demons. They're not physical. But it's still kind of interesting / creepy to think about these like half human, half demonic entities. But the good news is they can't hurt us these days. That's the good news. We're protected by prayer and by God and by Kabbalah University, thank God, that spreads the teachings of the Torah. And by the way, why does spreading the teachings of the Torah protect you? Rabbi Nachman breaks this down very eloquently in his main magnum opus work called Likutei Moharan, for those who are familiar. By the way, it's his birthday today. It is Rabbi Nachman of Breslov's birthday today. And also, do you know it's my birthday as well? I want you guys to know. Not only is it Rabbi Nachman of Breslov's birthday, but it's also yours truly, my own birthday, and I'm still here to teach you guys also, because this is very important to me. So it's not something that, right, I skipped a lot of things because it's my birthday and I'm going to do what I want to, right? I skipped a lot of things because it's my birthday and I'm going to do what I want to, but I did not skip this class because this class is extremely important to me. So I want you guys to understand the value system that is running KU. So when one stranger, who is a stranger to the mysteries of the Torah, makes pseudo-discoveries based on their incomplete understanding of the Torah because they don't have a proper teacher and they don't submit to the teacher, then unfortunately, they get misled. It's a very sad thing. But these students, they could get misled. And then they could even worse, find a false teacher. The two big mistakes that I see, the two major pitfalls here, are either having your own self as a teacher, so your own self-appointed system before you're ready, or you find a even worse false teacher who makes you even more confused. So those are two pitfalls, and then the one good escape is to find a good teacher. It's like an analogy of going through a maze that's very dark and you can't find the exit to the maze, so you rely on the guy who's at the top, the watchtower guy who has the binoculars, right? Who sees what you need to do to escape your mental confusion or your spiritual lock. So you take a guide who sits at the top of the maze, and his whole job is to sit there and make sure and guide you step by step to make sure that you get out of the maze properly. So now, thank you. Welcome to everybody who's joining. Welcome to all our old and new students. So the Zohar continues. Also for a new student as well, these demonic entities, good and bad, they come and seize of the word. If it's a false word, a negative world is created. If it's a positive word, a beautiful heaven is created. This is for mystical seekers, advanced and beginners alike. So be very careful, because what you say makes a difference in the spiritual world. The perverse one, the demon of false tongues, pops up in Zohar Introduction 11, who emerges from the cavern of the great abyss and makes a leap 500 parsecs. That's a big leap. That's like a Bigfoot level leap. To receive the word, right? It preys on that word. Then he takes it and returns it to his cavern. I know it sounds very like villainy, like cartoon villainy. Returns to his cavern with the word and shapes it into a not good heaven, which is called Tohu, chaos. And Tohu, by the way, is a pivotal concept in the Kabbalah. In the Lurianic Kabbalah, Tohu is the idea of chaos. So you have chaos versus order. So that if you take away anything from this class, in the Arizal system and in the Zohar system of Jewish mainstream Kabbalah, there's two main states of the world: order and chaos, male and female. And you need both. Okay? Is that clear? So the main takeaway from the Zohar Introduction 101 class, or any Zohar, good Zohar Introduction 101, is that there's two main operating modes in this world, right? Just like there's day and night, male and female, there's also order and chaos. So everything boils down to order and chaos. So a good teacher brings you towards order, right? Suggests schedules. How do you know the difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher? I'll teach you guys one way to find out right now. Is a good teacher leads you naturally towards schedules, and the bad teacher leads you naturally towards chaos. So a good teacher will implement personalized, easy to follow ABC to-dos for your day on how to make it better, versus a bad teacher will overload you or give you overly ambitious goals or overly complex schedules. Okay, so the main way to tell is that a good teacher pushes you towards order and a bad teacher pushes you towards chaos. Then that demon that traverses in one swoop the whole heaven of that heaven, a space of 6,000 parsecs. Oh, so now you see how it's escalating. First he jumped 500 parsecs, now he's jumping 6,000 parsecs. As soon as that heaven is formed, the hoe emerges, the harlot. I kid you guys not. I'm not making this up. It says it right here. I'm sorry if that word offends anybody. It says the harlot emerges. Right? This is like a demonic prostitute entity, okay? that lodges herself in it and joins forces with it. I'll give you guys the text to back this up if you want, because I know I can already feel the heat. But it's good. Zohar is good heat. It's good heat to get. So as soon as the heaven is formed, and by the way, I'm making a group for all the white belt members. So if you guys have purchased the white belt starter kit, you're going to be put into a group. But anyways, let me slow down. So that demon that transverses in one swoop the whole of that heaven, a space of 6,000 parsecs, as soon as that heaven is formed, the harlot emerges. This is the female demonic entity. Nothing to do with any human females. Nothing to do with any... This is nothing to do with girls or women. This is purely a demonic entity who's a female demonic force. Okay, so let's make a very clear distinction here. All right? Everybody clear on that distinction? We're not talking about human females or girls or women. We're talking about a demonic entity that is a female harlot that emerges and lodges herself in it and joins forces with this false word. Conceptually, it's a metaphor. She has a sexual union with this false word and creates a false heaven. That's the danger of learning Kabbalah in the wrong way. Boom. You guys catch that? These are the dangers of learning Kabbalah without a good teacher. You create female demonic situations. Let's just say. I'm going to keep it PG-13. As soon as that heaven is formed, the harlot emerges and lodges herself in it. Okay, I said that already. For as long as she's lodged in that heaven, she has authority and power to swoop through the world in the twinkling of an eye. So she's also traveling at light speed, by the way. In case you wanted to know. We also learned that she's traveling at light speed. So, welcome to those who are just joining as well. 5:40 p.m., 8:40 on the East Coast. Good. So we have a few minutes left. So we'll do another one or two more paragraphs of Zohar, and I'll take one or two questions from you guys. How about that? We have a deal? We'll shake on it? Okay. Excellent. Pinky promise. Okay. So let's do... So that demon transverses in one swoop in the whole of that heaven, a space of 6,000 parsecs, as soon as the heaven is formed. So she emerges, and until then she has power and authority to swoop through the world at bedazzling speeds, twinkling eye. In the twinkling of an eye, says the Zohar. So think light speed. V'al ksiv yishayu. This is implied in the words, woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity. Right? These sinful people who are into nonsense and wasting their time. So woe unto them, right? They say that it's a warning and it's advising people to stay away from Greek culture and stay away from party culture. It's warning that if somebody gets too involved in Greek culture, then they will get trapped into a spiritual state of complacency that is considered like the anti-mysticism, right? So if you have like mysticism, Kabbalah, self-transformation, ultimate potential, and then you have like party mode, complacency, everything's a game, everything's YOLO. So these are two like opposite states, like we said, chaos and order. So woe, it gives a warning and a declaration, woe unto them who draw iniquity onto themselves through too much vanity, right? The word for iniquity, avon, being of a masculine gender, of male gender, designates the demon, so it's a male demon. And the next part of the verse, and sin as it were, and we'll end off with this, and then I'll take questions. And sin as it were with a cart rope. So the word for sin, hata, chet, being a feminine gender, signifies the female demonic harlot from before, who rushes to execute slaughter on the sons of men. Concerning her we also read, for she has caused to fall many deadly wounded. Proverbs 7:26, if you guys want the exact source. Namely, the chata, sin, feminine, who slays the sons of men, and the ultimate cause is the unripe scholar, right? The mystic seeker who doesn't get a proper teacher, who's not qualified to teach and yet does so. May God save us from him, okay? So that's why everyone should go ahead. So we'll have a perfect transition, and that's why everyone should go ahead and join our cohort, where you get to join a serious peer group, and you get to join a private community full of your peers, one-on-one personalized mystic guidance to make sure you avoid all these pitfalls and all these warnings that we mentioned, and structured 4-week container. So join us now, and now I will take, and the way that you join, of course, is by DMing me right here, right now, white belt. Or, alternatively, you could also message my profile later. So take a minute to do that, and then questions. Noted. We have received your intention to join. Okay. So we'll take the last 2 to 3 minutes for questions related to the Zohar Introduction 11. So basically what we covered tonight. So now you guys can either take a minute or two to watch quietly as we end the live, or submit a question on the Zohar. Any questions that I missed that are earlier up in the scroll, I will take care of after the class, okay? But I sent very good. I received that message. Thank you for your message. Welcome to our 3 new white belt students who joined this week. Class will be tomorrow at the same time. Excuse me. No, it's Thursday. Class is Monday at the same time, so we have the weekend off. And then, unless you're in the cohort, then you have homework over the weekend and specialized, personalized programs. But for our students who are joining us publicly, we will resume on Monday also at the same time. Okay, so that's some logistics for everybody. So that's the logistics for tonight. Is there any more points of logistics? So the cohort is the next step after white belt. So from white belt is $10, and then after white belt you complete the white belt packet, then you get promoted to yellow belt, and the cohort is $297 for the 4-week program. Great question. So your next step is to wait for my DM, which is going to contain the white belt link. Okay, Very good. So that completes our question portion for this evening, and it's very nice to have everybody, and we should all have a blessed, wonderful evening. And I wish everybody a wonderful, wonderful weekend.